Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Unfiltered podcast. You are joining us in our brand new studio. And as always, I have my friends with me today. But before I introduce them, let me just kind of tell you, everybody, what's going on. You may have noticed that you have not heard me on the radio anymore, and that's because we have canceled it. That's right. We've canceled it. But what we have not canceled is the Unfiltered show. We're just now on a podcast. And this means we get to do what we want, when we want, how we want, where we want, with whoever we want. And that's going to be really fun. So let me introduce my guest. I'll start right over here to my far right is Becca, everybody. Say hi, Becca.
Hi, everyone.
And then, of course, over to my right is my son from another mother.
Nope. Yeah, I guess so.
Austin is in the house.
What's up?
He's actually from my wife. I'm just kidding. And then over here to my left is my other good friend, Eric Stable.
What's up?
So anyway, what we want to do today, we're having a little fun. We're a little wound up because this is our first Unfiltered podcast in our brand new studio. And this is actually just an interim studio. We're actually in the process of building a studio with our expansion, which I'm really excited about. Going to give us a lot more room. People are going to be able to walk by, watch us in here, acting like a bunch of goofballs, which is what makes this fun. So what are you guys first excited about when it comes to this podcast in general? Knowing the new format, knowing that we don't have to worry about commercial breaks.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Knowing that we don't have to cut and paste and start over, that we could just have a 5-minute conversation, or we could have a 5-hour conversation.
Yeah, I would say that's what I'm most excited
No
about.
limits is the best.
I think also just being able on YouTube, it's a really wide platform, so we'll be able to engage with the audience, I feel like, and whoever's watching, listening, I think it'd be really cool.
Yes.
I like
Wow.
that there's going to be less post-production work involved.
That's true. Our social media person will be very grateful that she doesn't have to go in and layer the music, layer the audio with the video.
It takes a lot.
People,
Honestly, when you're sitting in here and you just get to talking, it's going to be so nice not to have to stop talking.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
You get in a groove,
you get in a groove.
then you got to stop for
Yeah.
a radio commercial.
I know it's yeah.
It's
This
all
show
about-
is bought and paid for by Roots Church.
Yes.
Come on, Jesus.
And it's actually free.
Right. It's free.
free 99.
That's the other thing I like.
It's free.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, I have a couple topics. One in particular that we were talking about a little bit before that's kind of rubbing me the wrong way. And I thought I would just go ahead and bring it up in our first show because why not? We're, at the church, we're in our second phase of our further campaign. We're here raising money to expand our territory, not necessarily the building, but to have opportunity to reach more people, to see lots of lives change. And we are true blue, very transparent in our finances. We have paid off $750,000 in debt. We have saved over $850,000 in our savings. That's $1.6 million over the last 3 years that we have not put anywhere but back into the ministry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not to include all the different things that we've done with outreach. Of course, everybody knows you got to pay staff, you got to pay the electric bill, you got to pay the gas bill, you got to pay for the building. There's all these things that you have to take care of operationally. But more importantly, the point of the fundraiser is to expand our territory so people can find God or know God, find freedom, discover their purpose, and make a difference, which is the Further campaign. Further up in a relationship with God, further in with relationships with others, and further out, which is evangelism. That's the culture here. However, with doing this campaign, something come across my Instagram feed on Instagram, and it really just rubbed me the wrong way. And I'm not going to give these people credit. I'm not going to name the name of the Instagram page. I'm not going to say who the people are. I'm just going to say that these guys, I feel like, are out trying to ruin churches. I understand the concept, right? They're frustrated because there's billions of dollars that come through nonprofit organizations, and they feel like there are churches / pastors out there that misappropriate funds from the church. And we all know that happens from time to time, just like the government does it, just like businesses do it, just like any other nonprofit organization happens. That's why you got to have checks and balances.
Yeah.
And I know the heart behind maybe their ministry, they want to call it a ministry. It's kind of, it reminds me of how, when somebody wants to gossip about somebody,
Yes.
and then they say, oh, I'm only telling you so we can pray for them.
Yeah,
Right.
they
Yep.
mask it behind.
Yeah, and I feel like that's kind of what's happening here. We're creating a ministry to oust these pastors that are basically stealing money from the church, but we're doing it in good faith, but yet doesn't seem so real. So I just want to talk a little bit, and I don't know. I want to express my frustration because I think biblically there's a thing there where, yes, you should hold other Christians accountable to what they're doing, no doubt, but you need to get the information. Eric, I think you said that earlier.
Yeah.
How are they doing this? Are they just assuming because they're getting reports and IRS statements or whatever they're getting and not really knowing?
The first thing that came to my mind was biblically was Matthew 18. The restoration, or it's not really the restoration, it's the way you confront somebody when they're doing
conflict in the church.
Yeah, conflict resolution in the church. And the first step is to go to that person one-on-one.
Go to your
not
brother.
put them on blast in front of the whole church. So like you said, I know this happened. This is a tale as old as time. It's always been this way. But it's not just in this industry, I should say, and it's not an industry, but it's not just in this sector.
Yeah.
It's in everything.
Yeah.
You can't allow a couple bad apples
Yep.
to spoil the whole thing. And so that's just it rubs me the wrong way as well, because more than not, people do the right thing.
Yes.
People are doing the right thing, and there are lives being impacted and changed by the donations that people give. And like you said, actually, in your message last week or the week before, we're supposed to give with not expecting anything in return, trusting. Just, it's no different to me than giving to a homeless person. We don't know where that money's going to go, but we're giving because it's been put on our heart.
Yeah.
And so when you give to an organization, if you don't believe in the organization, stop giving.
Exactly.
And then confront them one-on-one if you have the authority to do that. So that's my thought.
Well, and
Long
I kind
story
of
short.
had like an offshoot of what Eric was saying. Like, yes, we want to deliver accountability, but like, how do these people? How are they going about that? Like one of the pastors they named is a very well-known pastor, and it's like you want to make these accusations or you want to, say these things about them that are assumptions. Are you actually going to that pastor and getting that information, or where is it coming from?
Right.
Because at that point, you are just basing it off of what appears to be knowledge that you've come across, and what does that look like? Because in their promo materials, they showed very specifically which pastors they're talking about.
Yeah.
So I hope you've contacted those organizations to open up a channel of communication with them.
I'm going to tell you right now, if somebody out there bought me a jet or a helicopter, I'm not going to say no to it.
No.
They're going to donate something to this organization for me to use to fly wherever I need to go to speak. I'm going to utilize it. I'm not necessarily saying I need it, but if somebody wants to donate it because that's what they want to do, that's their business.
Yeah.
At the same time, I do think that there are what we would call celebrity pastors that I feel probably go a little far with maybe
Their lifestyle.
Yeah.
You don't need a $70,000 suit, which is what they talk about on their deal. Is one of the pastors bought a $70,000 suit.
Yeah.
You don't need
that to do
He's
ministry.
gonna wear forever.
you don't need $5,000 pair of shoes
You don't
necessarily.
need it to do ministry.
No.
Yeah.
So I do think there's a balance, but at the same time, as far as much as somebody makes like a pastor, what they don't understand is a lot of these guys are having speaking engagements. They have books they've written.
Yep.
They have curriculum. They have lots of different things that they have on top of. And a lot of these, not a lot, but there's a handful of these people that I know that take zero money from the church, and they only take from their books. I know others that don't take anything from their books. They donate it all back to the church and only take a salary from the church. There's multiple ways. The bottom line is what these guys are doing, in my opinion, is they're actually doing more damage than good.
Yeah. What's their background like? Are these pastors of a church? Are they just like
That's a good question.
like film directors? Like, where are they coming from?
A lot of them have ministries. Televangelism was a huge
No,
you
but I
know,
mean, like the guy's doing this documentary. Like, is
Oh,
this a
the guy's
pastor? Is he a
investigating.
I
creative
got you.
director
Oh,
at a
okay, yeah, I got
church,
you, I got you.
Yeah.
or is he just
I don't know.
like
A lot
you
of
know?
times, what I've from my experience and just seeing it on social media, people that complain about other things or these guys that are it's gotcha journalism, whatever it might be, they're people that have like church hurt or somebody
Yeah.
who has
Right.
it's happened to them or they've got this justice mindset that they're advocating on other people that have brought it to light. So I don't know. I mean, that's a good question. I think that's a good place to start.
Well, it doesn't really say. Here we go.
Or
right here.
people who are jealous that they're not at a certain level.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
I've seen
So
that too.
one person served as an officer in the Army and the U.S. Air Force. They were an Air Force cadet, Air Force Space Command Element Comms and Info. I mean, don't get me wrong. They were involved in our armed forces, which is amazing. Thank you for your service, no doubt. But as far as ministry, I'm not seeing anything in here as far as them having a ministry. So now
Yeah.
my question is, do you even understand what ministry is about, or are you only looking
Exactly.
at this as the money?
Yeah.
You know, if that's just a YouTuber who just wants to find a topic to like be able to launch himself into like internet fame or whatever
Yeah.
trending.
Let's find a
videos.
controversial topic and let's stir up a
Yes.
hornet's nest so we can
Right.
become famous and get rich.
Yes,
That's the-
exactly.
Hello.
At
That's
the,
the funny
end
part.
of the day, that's what's going to happen.
That is funny, actually.
Let's get rich over it,
so,
man.
like, what's your background, sir?
But here's the thing. I mean, I think if their approach, we do this sometimes with topics that we're doing as a church. We
Yeah.
do that to get people. We draw them in, and then it's not always what it seems. So I'd be interested to see how this evolves.
Yeah.
One
what
of
it
them is
actually-
a really kind of well-known filmmaker.
Okay.
And so this is basically a documentary that they are doing about religious organizations that are where their staff or pastors are stealing money from the church. So they do make it very clear. I want to make sure I say this. They do make it very clear that not all pastors out there are doing this, that there are a lot of good pastors,
Right.
a lot of good churches. I thought that was really important. I think for me, if this is something that, you're right, Austin, we do some things edgy to catch the attention of people, create some tension.
Yeah.
So you'll watch it, and then when you watch it, it usually ends up
Right.
being a little different. I am going to give them that benefit of the doubt, and I am going to watch the documentary when it comes out. And when I do,
Yeah.
I'll release it to you guys as
Sure.
well so you can
Yeah.
create your own opinion.
It reminds me of that hit piece from Hillsong
Yeah.
or about
Yeah.
Hillsong.
Yeah.
That whole thing. If you haven't heard this, if you're not, just Google Hillsong scandal.
Yeah.
And it's all over the internet. The Christian Post has done it, whatever. All of these different, they've been all over the news. And it was, some of it was legitimate accusations, but the other things were financial accusations as well. I feel like it's just getting to the point now where it's culturally, I don't know the word. It's like a trend
Yeah.
to call this
Yeah.
kind of stuff out. It needs to be called
Well,
out.
and I
If
mean-
there's-
Sure.
if there's stuff that's actually happening. So
Yeah. There's going to be a point in that as well where hurting people hurt people, right?
Yep.
And so I came from, before I got into church ministry, I came from, I went to, I guess they call it like a para-ministry, right? So Teen Mania, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that,
Yep.
whatever.
Ron Luce.
Ron Luce and all that. Well, this happened to that ministry, and it ended up being the demise of the whole ministry.
Oh, wow.
And so, I got out before it really started to take off. But funny enough, the whole reason I even went to that ministry was because CNN did a story on Teen Mania and how it was like this cult and like all this stuff. And I was watching CNN.
Eric
cover-
wanted to be part of a cult.
I was watching CNN cover it, and I was like, this is not a cult. Like, I was like, this actually sounds pretty awesome. So, anyways, that's why I went there. But the ultimate downfall of it was because of somebody that got hurt, that,
Yeah.
that started this, organization for all the people that have gotten church hurt from this ministry. And they got lawyers involved and all this stuff. And it wasn't even stuff that, like that I feel like you would have to get a lawyer over or anything like
Yeah.
that. But because it got so much attention, like people stopped going, all
people
that
coming
stuff.
out of the woodwork.
Right. So
Wow.
A lot of times if you just do Matthew 18, go to your brother when one has sinned against you, talk to them about it, try to work it out. I don't know what it is about Christians. They struggle so much to do that one thing. It's not hard.
Oh.
You just go to the person, you talk through it, and if you're both Christians, the Bible says you're supposed to work it out and forgive one another.
Yep.
Nobody's perfect. Again, I know it's hard to go to a pastor that might have a 16,000 square foot house that's buying $70,000 suits and has a private jet worth, $100 million. It'd be hard to go to them and tell them they're doing something wrong. I agree with what you said earlier. If you don't trust the organization that you're giving to, no matter what that is, no matter what the nonprofit is, it don't have to be a church. It could be Goodwill.
Right.
It could be the Salvation Army.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different, or Red Cross. There's a lot of organizations out there. And in most of those, they don't have to disclose information where it talks about who they're paying.
Right.
It's nobody's business how much they're paying somebody. We don't come and ask you how much you make.
Right.
Why should you know how much we make?
Right,
You know?
exactly.
And
So let's get into it a little bit. Like I've been in full-time ministry for over 12 years now. I've never made bukus of money from ministry. That's not why you get in ministry.
Yeah.
Right?
Correct.
You don't get in to make money. For 99,
wait a minute, you don't? I thought that's what I was doing.
99% of people, you're not getting in ministry to make money. But okay, so for example, I've had lots of financial blessings happen to me.
Yep.
And things that I've been believing for. For example, we've had when I first moved into Mexico, gave away a car. I gave away a car because I felt like the Lord told me to give it to this person. We ended up buying another car or whatever. That car got paid off miraculously by an anonymous person, $14,000. Got pulled into the office. They're like, hey, this person wants to pay off your car.
Wow.
Got paid off.
That's pretty awesome.
Awesome, right? So then about a year later, and I end up driving because I gave away a car. I end up driving one of the church cars for like a year, and then a year later, I get a knock on my door. We're just believing, for a vehicle to kind of happen. I get a knock on my door. One of our friends was like, God told me to give you my truck. I'm still driving that truck today. And it's a nice truck,
It's
right?
a Ford,
Yeah,
too.
it is.
It's a Ford F-150.
That's a God's vehicle.
F54.
Everyone relax.
FX4. It's got off-roading package. He did stuff to it.
Wow.
And it's awesome, right? But if somebody on the outside is looking in, they're thinking, I'm taking this money from the church. When I had nothing to do with this. This is a people that sought me out, that the Lord spoke to them to do these things. And then when we had our third kid, we were praying and believing because, man, I didn't want Chelsea to drive my truck because all we could fit 3 car seats in was my truck. And I was like, please, Lord, we need help here. And then when we had our third, Chelsea, my wife, was like, we're not going to go look for another vehicle because every time we've had a kid, our car got paid off. Our second kid, I got a truck. And then, so our third kid, she's like, I'm not going to go look because I think the Lord's going to give us something. So the day we got home with our daughter, somebody knocked at my door, said, hey, I want to give you my car. It was at the time, it was a 2018 Cadillac XTS. It was spotless. I was scared to touch the thing. And he was like, I know this isn't the car that you need right now, but this will get you the car that you need.
I need a
right now.
minivan.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah. He's like, I know this isn't the car you need right now, but it will get you the car you need right now. We went to the dealership a couple weeks later, did a straight trade across for a newer 2019 Chrysler Pacifica that had fewer miles than the car we were trading in. And it was a perfect car that we needed at the time. And so but people on the outside looking in, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're going to see that and they're going to say, man, that guy gets a huge paycheck. That guy this and this and this.
Yep.
I don't. The Lord's going to take care of me, and he's going to take care of my needs and he's going to do that for these people as well. But, I entrusted him to do that as well. So
Can you pray for me? I need those blessings. I've never had anything like that go on. That's cool.
Man,
That's seriously, but you're right. I mean,
that's awesome.
when people donate they give up something, you know. I mean, who are we to judge? And you wouldn't know that. It's not
Right.
like it's not your job to put on the side of the car, this was donated.
Yeah.
This was given to me.
And those people
you know?
don't want any credit
No,
for it,
that's-
and they, you know,
It's the opposite. That's awesome.
It's
though.
funny you say that, Austin, because whenever I got a new truck, I have my own business as well as being a pastor, and I had 2 work vehicles, but I had to give one of them up. And I was like, we need another work vehicle. So I thought, well, I'll give up my gray truck that I was driving, paid off. I gave that to the business, and I went out and bought another used vehicle. Now, it was technically still business because that's what I used it for. But we had a neighbor that said, oh, wow, it's really nice. Jason got a new truck, huh? And my wife's like, yeah, you know, the other one was paid off and he needed to add one to the company fleet. And so he went out and got another one, kind of one that he really wanted or whatnot. This was a 2014. This thing was 5 years old, so I didn't pay a lot for it. But it was the mindset that they were like, oh, because they thought the church bought it. And then the person says, oh, well, you probably ought to put the Deck Doctor magnet on there so people know it's not a church vehicle.
Oh
my
Lord.
God.
I'm like, for real, dude. I told my wife, I said, I ain't putting a magnet on there. I said, that person just needs to be slapped.
I agree.
Good knit, man. You can't even buy. It was a 2014 Ford, because that's God's truck.
Come on, Jesus.
And it was an F-150. There was nothing real special. It had big tires on it. The young kid put a lot of money in it. He put more money into the tires and wheels than really what the truck was worth. And I bought the truck for what it was worth.
Yeah.
So I got a great deal. I was blessed. I feel like
Yes.
you, Eric.
Yes.
I was a favor in my life. I got
Yeah.
it. And I think a lot of people got jealous because they saw what I had. I didn't even know what kind of wheels I had.
Right.
At the time, Zoe's boyfriend goes, do you know how much those wheels are worth? I'm like, no, dude, they're wheels. There's tires. They get me where I'm going.
The
You know?
first time I took it to get my tires like rotated and stuff, they're like, you have locking nuts on this. Do you have the lock for
key?
it or whatever? And I was like, what the heck is a locking nut? I had no idea. They're
So
like,
people don't
you know, when
steal 'em?
when you get nice rims, they give you
Yep.
like a locking
What?
lug nut so that people don't steal them.
Mine
And I
are-
was like,
mine are
I've
that
never
way.
heard of that in my life.
Yep. Oh my God.
I assure you, my car doesn't need those. I
Yeah.
can't. I'm not even good at I had to send in photos of my tires to Joey today because they're like doing my tires this weekend or whatever, and I didn't know what photos to send, so I sent like 8 photos because I'm like, what do you need for this wheel? Like, why
The
do you?
tread?
I don't know. Like,
If you open
They
your
probably-
car door, there's a little sticker that's got
Yeah.
all that information.
well, he told
on
me
it.
my tires. So anyway, I took pictures of the wheel. I took like 8 photos so he would have what he needs. And I'm looking at my whatever the part is that's like silver, not
Yeah.
tire, not
The
rubber.
wheel?
the rim or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know what the word is. I don't know the anatomy of a
We're
wheel
trying
tire.
to teach it to
The
you.
anatomy of the vehicle.
She's out there
Anyway.
jacking the car up to get a picture of the tread.
Listen,
Underneath.
the point of the story is I don't need
Could you do that
locking.
again, please?
No.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't need locking things because I realize how bad I am at driving next
Sweat.
to curbs because it's like all scraped off.
Yeah. Oh,
And
I
I'm
saw
like-
the side of your car.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't need those locking things. I can't even be trusted to drive by a curb.
That's
What's funny
hilarious.
about this conversation, we're all in ministry. We all know what we make, and we all know we ain't getting rich.
Yeah.
But what's funny is that's what we're talking about. We're talking about our vehicles and the things. And listen, I'm very blessed. My business has helped me. Church is taking care of me. There's no doubt.
Yes, yeah.
And my wife and I, we try to live under the means, within our means for sure, and have margin. And that's how you're able to do things. But I don't know. That story, I just really get rubbed the wrong way, man, when somebody's out there thinking they're trying to do a good deed.
Well-
and all it does is it's going to make more people
Yes.
think the worst.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's not helping. That's the enemy's way of screwing it up
Yeah.
for a lot of people that are doing it right.
What I would like to see is a documentary of how all of the senators and House of Representatives
Yes.
reps go into office making $80,000 a year,
Yes.
and then their salary when they become this is like 180. It's capped at like 185.
Yeah, and they're millionaires.
And they're
they leave.
millionaires.
Obama's.
had like $1 million when he went in, and after his 8 years in office, when you sign a what they call it, like a no trust, a blind trust, you put everything in a blind trust. You cannot see it, manage your assets for those 8 years. After that, he had like $30 million.
Mm-hmm.
Well, either you hired the best person to manage your assets, or they had some information they weren't supposed to
They
have.
definitely have that.
They had
Let's
insider
do a
information.
documentary on that. You know
Yeah.
what
I
I'm saying?
agree.
But anyway, that's my soapbox.
I think the reality is favor ain't fair.
True.
Yep.
That's right.
Favor ain't fair.
Favor,
It's not supposed to
and
be
it's
fair.
not supposed to be.
It's not
Nope.
supposed to be.
But
I like
And
God's
Eric's got it
favor.
all.
No.
I
Listen.
like God's favor.
All right. I'm like, Lord, can you do that for my health and my body?
Yeah.
right. No, that's.
Did you guys have anything? Let's move on to the next thing. We don't have to just move, but we're gonna move. We need to move.
I don't know. We.
What's on your mind, man? What's going on?
I'm trying to think.
Nothing, this time of day, nothing's on our minds. We're fried by this time of day.
I went.
I don't know when you guys are going to be watching it, but our recording time is like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and usually by that time in ministry, woo, your brain is
You need
fried.
a break.
We tested a new item in the cafe today. We can't say what it is.
Oh my goodness.
The best.
Oh my
but
goodness.
We are dropping that March 1st, I would say, around
Let's
March.
just tell
I'm getting
everybody
one
right
tonight.
now. I don't know if everybody knows this, but we have a cafe right here at Roots Church. It's called
Yes.
Roots Cafe. It's open full time. So we're open at we're closed on Mondays.
Yep.
Mondays we're not open. We take that day off. But on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we are open from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. And then on Saturday, we're open from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then on Sunday, we're open for our people. But if you're out there and you want to come in, you're more than welcome to come in as a patron from 8 a.m. Austin, is that
Yep.
what 8 a.m.
To
2 right now.
Yep.
And we have a couple new menu items coming up, and we
Ooh,
tried them
I'm
today.
That's one perk.
If we remove
Boom.
the
That is a
cheese-
perk.
One perk. You can't put that into a benefits package.
Favor.
Free
If it-
tastings. on
If
the
you're
side.
watching this now,
tastings.
and about 6 months from now, we've all gained weight, it's because of the Roots Cafe.
It's so hard to avoid or to resist the temptation of walking down there for treats.
Yeah.
Like all the bakery items are so good.
I walked down there today after that little
That secret
that
item.
secret item, and I ended up getting a cake pop.
There you go.
I
So,
know. After
One
doing
cake pop. I mean, it's just just enough cake to just satisfy your urge.
Becca was in my office yesterday, and I was hungry, and I just picked. I have my desk phone is. I have it pre-programmed. I said,
Yeah.
"Can you make me that?" They said, "Yep." I said, "I'll be there in 5 minutes."
I literally was like, "Did you just call the cafe and place an order?" He's like, "Yeah, I did." He's got like this official phone.
We have an
like
app.
the president's phone. I
Hang
know.
on a minute. We have an app also for those of you that want to place your order ahead of time. It'll be ready, so when you get here, you just gotta.
Yep.
They'll even walk it out to your car for
That's
you.
right, yeah.
You can
So
be
convenient.
lazy, and they'll walk it right out to your car, and you can sit out in the parking lot and watch
And if
your
they
YouTube.
if they don't, email reggie.gazak@myroots.church.com.
All right, so
Oh, no.
so what are you guys' go-to orders there? Becca, what's your go-to order?
My go-to? Oh man. I guess for an actual meal, it's always a pick two because there's so many options you can do with that. But I always also need a cake pop or Rice Krispie treat to go with it.
They have Rice Krispie treats.
Yes.
this month they do.
With,
Oh my!
with a white
I'm
chocolate
so
drizzle.
Glad I didn't know that.
And they're heart shaped. They're
Levi
so
likes
cute.
them. Levi had.
I am so glad I didn't get that or know about it.
Yeah.
Or an
What's your
energy
go-to?
infused.
Yeah, what's
Mine
your go-to?
is the item I introduced to the menu, so it's my favorite. The
What is
bread
it?
bowl, the
yeah.
broccoli cheddar bread bowl with a hot mocha
Ew, both of them at the
latte.
same time?
No, I'm just saying those are my
Oh,
go-to
okay. All
items.
right.
So yeah, What
I
about you?
like the barbecue brisket
Oh, yeah.
panini, and I like a pick two as well. I like the little bread bowl every now and then with soup. I'm not a big soup person at all, but I do like the chicken noodle soup, and I like the broccoli and cheddar as well. But
That's
I'm
good.
not a big soup person, so it's very rare. Becca's over there snarling up her nose about the chicken noodle soup.
Yeah, because peas do not belong in chicken noodle soup.
Our
well,
recipe it does.
Well,
No.
yeah,
It
and
matches the branding.
Ew.
I like
We do not care.
any of the treats they have. I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
Sweet rolls are probably my favorite.
We have a good
What?
baker.
Really?
Oh my
We do.
gosh.
Baking team.
Cheesecake.
Favor and fair.
Cheesecake's also
We actually
Cheesecake.
just
Fair.
we actually just introduced a new baker, so there's two people.
Yeah.
baking.
Whoa! I
Yeah.
don't know about this.
Well, it's
They co-bake together.
yeah, they're
like she's
co-baking.
learning off the recipes that have been
Yeah.
established.
it's pretty.
Is
cool.
that like co-parenting?
I think I know who
Yeah.
it
It's
is.
like
actually.
co-managing? It never works out
Co-managing.
good.
What's your favorite off the menu, Eric?
Oh man,
We didn't even mention any of the breakfast items.
I think I was gonna say biscuits and gravy. I think I get that the most.
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Out
I
of
always have them
everything.
add bacon.
Yeah,
So biscuits and gravy. Add 3 slices of bacon.
The bacon is the best.
bacon is pretty
So
good.
good.
Like their bacon is extra good. I don't know
We should
why.
go do this.
This is
in
a
the
Roots
cafe right
Cafe
here.
segment right
We
here.
need to
Yeah.
do this
Fun,
at the
actually.
cafe.
We could. Well, no, we're not
We'll
gonna.
do it live. live at the cafe.
Yes.
Well, and honestly, I love the vibes of the cafe so much that even if I'm not buying something, I go up there because, obviously
fun.
we can use their Wi-Fi. And I just like sit in the comfy chairs and it's a vibe up there.
The
Or you
white
can sit
chairs
outside.
are my favorite.
Yes.
The white chairs
I
that
feel
spin.
like I'm going to like take over the world in those chairs. Like it feels like a villain chair.
They're villain chairs.
Or a hero chair, I guess.
But you won't know unless you come.
We need to put that in his office. Like
He
Gru.
like
Mine?
whips around.
Like Gru. Yeah.
Listen, I want everybody to look at me right now. I am not a villain. I'm a loving, caring, compassionate person.
I'm a
So
villain.
on one of your videos that you did on your Instagrams,
Yeah. Somebody called my eyes out.
somebody said those are what did they say? Those are eyes of the devil. Or
Yeah,
something.
I did.
And I commented back. I said, what did I say? I have to look it
You
up.
commented back?
Yeah, I said that's my dad, and he just has really red eyes.
No, it wasn't that they were red. They were sharp because
Oh,
of
yeah.
what I was
They're
wearing.
like ice blue.
They
They're
were
kind of
so
scary.
blue.
It was something hilarious. I can't remember what I said.
You have villain eyes.
Crazy.
It's like the master. What's it? Mastermind? What's it?
They
Megamind.
They like
Megamind.
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 Oh yeah, here we go. Oh, I said this guy with the demon eyes is my dad. He just has high blood pressures. That's what I said.
The only time I have high blood pressure is when I'm around all of you.
Yeah.
You did call us your friends earlier.
Yes. Yes.
I do. I have friends of enemies.
Frenemies.
Friends close.
Frenemies.
Frenemies.
Becca, did you have something you wanted to talk about?
I always have something to talk about.
Let's do it.
There's always something interesting. Well, I was listening to a podcast the other day about this guy. His name is, I believe, Billy Carson, but he was talking about like us humans, like we're created by God, but he was talking about how we have so much like untapped potential. And so one of the things he believes in is that God created us with the ability to read each other's minds. Like it's possible. And that's why we only use like 20 or 40% of our brain or whatever, but that we actually exist on the same like
Frequency?
yes, like the same, like we could, it's just we as
Okay.
humans have blocked ourselves off.
I'm ready to talk about this.
Wow.
But the guy, like, he believes God created us that way.
Well, I can tell you right
He's
now.
like an astrophysicist.
We definitely have not tapped in
Right.
to what the ability is.
So do you think that that's like viable? Like you think that we could potentially, we're just
No, I don't
blocking
think.
ourselves?
I think no. I think what we have right now is the potential that you have. You're not going to get any more.
Yeah, I think
As
that's
far as
what-
our brain
you don't
space.
think we can unlock
Yeah.
anymore?
No,
Like
not
we
until
can't
you
do
get to
like
heaven.
you can't like get to the next level.
What about like with mushrooms?
you might.
Okay, he talks about mushrooms.
I was gonna say he probably talks about that.
I would-
so-
But they're functional mushrooms,
Yeah,
not
I
psychedelics.
would think you'd need a medium or something to.
I want to put a disclaimer that I do not
I'm just saying there's a
support
chance.
or agree with the rest of my staff in this conversation.
When I say medium, I don't mean psychic. I mean like you might need to have like a chip or something.
What? Okay, he does kind of.
That's what I'm
get
saying.
into
Like I
that.
feel like we would have to like tap into the existing
yeah.
framework, but then that alludes to other things that I don't
Yeah.
think we want.
Well, he talks about how like we're not like, for example, is it Mars?
Mm-hmm.
Like he talks about how like we as humans, it's not just us, and that's why we only use so much of our brain because we've gotten to this point where basically there's been things before us and there's things outside of us, and it's
Yeah.
not just about us, which I 100% believe in. Like
Yeah.
we ain't the only ones.
I don't think
it's
that has
prideful
anything to
think
do with the use of our brain. That's just we don't know what's going on out there. We're not interested in extraterrestrial or whatever, however you say
Yeah.
that.
that.
Terrestrial.
ET stuff, because why do we need to care about another life on another planet when we have this right here that we got to worry about? There's too much here to steward. God didn't give me Mars, he didn't give me Saturn, and he definitely didn't give me anybody's Uranus, you know what I'm saying? So
I will pass on
he
that.
gave me Earth, and I'm supposed to focus on Earth.
I mean, that's a way
what
to
if we
put
go
it.
to Mars? Are we not going to minister to people on Mars?
To Martians?
conspiracy corner with Becca.
Right? That was
We're on our way there.
He was over here waiting for that.
We
button.
I was waiting.
Mark my words, we will not need a Mars campus, okay? Because there's nobody
Remember
on
Meta?
So no
remember
Meta or Mars?
What was it? Meta.
Metaverse.
Metaverse.
Remember
We're
when
not
I
gonna
wanted
do
to
either.
start
Oh, but
a
those
medic-
Apple Vision Pros.
The gosh
pretty cool.
almighty. I'll never forget these guys. These guys wanted to, they came into my office one day.
Whoa.
It was
whoa.
mainly me.
Austin
Okay.
came in and he said, "Hey, I think we need to start a metaverse campus."
I mean, it would have been minimal work.
That's
Are
not
you
really
kidding me?
how it went.
It's-
Basically,
we were asking, is there a chance?
we were kind of saying, this is the way the technology's going. Is this part of the vision? And you were like, absolutely not.
As a matter of fact, terrible.
I believe the words you said were, in fact, just go ahead and cancel the broadcast because we need people in here for community. And I was like, okay.
This was back when COVID was happening.
Yeah.
Everybody was all about the online broadcast.
Yeah.
Everybody was about isolating and everything else. And that is not why we were created.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
were
I get
created
it.
for relationships, to be in community
Come
with
on,
one
somebody.
another.
I get it.
And so metaverse is a joke. It's a
is.
joke.
It is a
Somebody
joke.
paid $1 million for land on metaverse, a world that doesn't even exist.
Yeah.
Dumb.
I will say that.
Dumb,
You want to
dumb,
talk
dumb.
about pastors stealing money?
Yeah.
That's dumb.
Yeah, for real though. Yeah.
That's true.
I want to know if Life Church has claimed land on Mars.
They were one
because
of the first
they did it
to
with
do
metaverse.
but they're not doing it now.
I don't
they're
think so.
they're not pursuing
No.
it.
I don't think so.
There
I don't
ain't-
think anyone is.
No. I granted, I'm glad that somebody took the chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I will never knock anybody for not taking the chance. They took a chance. They took a risk. It didn't work. No big deal.
Right.
I don't have a problem with that. But it just was not my thing. Metaverse, dumb.
That's
And
so
Mars
funny.
is also added to that list.
Mars, dumb. Why do we need to go to Mars? Billions of dollars to go to Mars. For what? There's nothing living on Mars. There's nothing there that can live on Mars.
I don't
Yes, it
even think we can
can.
get to Mars.
What's
How do we get
living
out
there?
of the firmament?
That's a different conversation I'm willing to entertain. But assuming you can get out of the firmament, this guy is talking about how Mars is actually the rotation of Mars, for example.
Oh my
it's
gosh.
23.5 hours in a day. It is so similar. The composition is so similar to Earth that it makes it realistic to sustain life there. He also talks about Mars's terrain looks like a nuclear fallout happened.
Have you ever seen the movie Mars with Matt Damon?
No, I don't watch movies unless it's Harry Potter, Shrek, or The Grinch.
Well, if you watch that,
Look
you'll
at my
realize
shoes.
nothing can be on Mars.
Is that called Mars?
No, it's
Celestial.
What's it called?
Interstellar.
Interstellar.
No. It's called Mars with Matt Damon.
no,
know the
I don't
one-
know.
Oh,
Well,
I
I'm
know. I
looking
know
it
which
up.
I
one you're
can't
talking
fact
about.
check you. I don't watch
I'm
these.
It's
looking
actually
up.
pretty good, and
So,
it's terrifying.
It's also a movie.
It's where it is a movie.
Let me look up my guy. We'll see
They
what
still
he says.
have the
we brought
metaverse.
church to the metaverse.
Listen,
Oh God.
this
love
is where
Life
they
Church.
go to Mars.
Yeah.
They're supposed to collect data, samples. Something happens. He gets left behind because this big storm's coming. They have to get off of
Yes,
Mars.
yes,
He-
that's,
they thought he's dead, but he's not. He's alive. Comes back the next day, and he's got to live on Mars by himself for like a
Yeah.
year and a half.
That's
like-
a movie.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean it's real.
Yeah.
Billy
are you-
Carson
how do
says
you-
it's possible. Billy Carson's smart.
I don't trust anybody named Billy.
First of all,
I'm just kidding.
It's not his fault. His mom.
Hey,
I don't
did
know what to
that.
tell you.
Hey,
She's our creative director,
you can-
everybody. Creative
you
director.
can
She is
jo-
creative in the mind.
You can join a VR life group at Life Church.
Ew.
What's a DR?
Hey,
No,
VR.
VR.
Oh.
Virtual reality with your Apple Vision Pros.
Get that to Bo and Ashley.
like they're-
See,
It's like they're
With your
partnering.
Vision Pros.
No,
They've got it on their website.
it's conspiracy time.
Isn't that cool? I think that's
No,
cool.
I
Okay.
hate
Here's the way I think
conspiracy
about it. Look,
theories.
here's the way I think about it. 50 years ago, the church didn't have broadcast. Then the first churches to have it, I'm sure there were people that are like, that is just of the devil, the technology. And now look at where we're at. And I'm just saying.
You hear that, Pastor?
I'm just saying. I stand by it.
All right, so what is this then? Okay, so if we're
Not
all
even
connected on this
Done.
plane, what is this? Okay, so the other day, I was out with my wife, and we were at coffee, and we got to talking about our kids' school and how we see this one lady pretty regularly, like outside of that environment. And then somebody walked in, they looked like somebody else. And I was like, wow, that must just be a style because this person, looks like that. So we ended up talking a little bit about that style and that person. So then we go to the next place, randomly run into that person, the first person we were talking about. And I was like, that's weird. Okay, that's a little bit strange that we were talking about them and now we ran into them. Then we go to a store, the next store, we run into the next person randomly. Out of like all the stores in Washington, all the times we ran into these two people that were talking about at breakfast. That stuff freaks me out.
Billy
That
Carson would support. He supports that theory.
How do you even explain that?
I don't know.
I'm like, that's just like.
I think
Listen.
it's just coincidence.
It's not coincidence.
I think
because
it's coincidence.
All of us are somewhat aware of each other.
I don't think everything happens by accident. I don't think that at all. But
Yeah.
I just think your subconscious mind.
Okay, that I believe.
What did you just say?
Your subconscious mind is where you literally are thinking of something, you're talking about somebody, and then all of a sudden you notice them.
It's like,
I believe that if he wouldn't have been talking about them, he probably wouldn't even have noticed them. It's like, for instance,
Yeah, but like we literally like ran into each other.
Well, I get
it.
it.
Wasn't like, oh, there's that person over there. It was
like
like,
buying a car.
what's up,
yes,
guys?
it's like buying a car. You're like, oh man, I want to get a Toyota Corolla, and next thing you know,
Why?
you're looking at them. You
Toyota
buy
Corolla.
one. You never see one before,
Yeah.
and now all of a sudden, all you ever see is Toyota Corollas.
That
It's
is
like, wait a
true.
minute, everybody's got one.
But I feel like that's different.
Of course you
That's
would.
different.
Of course you would. It doesn't
You're
fit your
talking
narrative.
about a car that is just
You sound like the Democrats
mass-produced.
over here.
First of all, let's not call names. Ew.
Yeah.
Second of all, if you like Billy Carson, my dude, listen, he talks about
paying
this.
you?
My
No.
dude.
I just like his podcast. He talks about whenever, like, for example, like what's the saying? Your ears are ringing.
Yeah.
All of us are aware of each other on a spatial plane. So like the atoms that make up our bodies, the mass that we have, all of these things talk and know each other. That's how you can sense when someone comes up on you, like different things. So I don't think it's crazy. He talks about when you speak something and you talk about it, it's not like a manifestation weird thing, but it's like you attract those things into your life. So I think if you're talking about people, you may be somehow on a weird level aware that you're going to come into contact with them.
I mean, scientifically, we are just,
This chair is made up of atoms.
Yeah.
Atoms because it has,
Yeah.
and they all have feelings. Like there's testing that's been done that like when a camera was shown
You're
to
telling me that chair has feelings.
not
right now.
like it's
but
sad.
not to a feeling
That's
that
why
we see as
we
a
can
human.
identify as a chair because it still has.
Oh my
feelings.
god, Eric,
that
shut
chair is sad because you're sitting in it right now.
up. First of all, I'm probably the lightest one here, so if anyone's chairs are sad, it's your guys's.
Probably no, but it is on a cellular or
On a
atom
cellular level,
Yeah.
like a molecular
We're getting
level.
into string theory here, guys.
Yeah, I
This
like
is-
it. This
Yes,
is
but-
where's the Interstellar playlist?
I don't even know what that. I've never seen
Wormhole.
it.
It's a wormhole. Yeah.
But it's
Let's get to a different subject.
Poor
I don't
Pastor
wanna talk
Jason has
about-
an aneurysm over his
No, I don't want to give this guy credit for anything. He sounds crazy.
not crazy.
Yes, that's the music.
Let's
we
bring
need.
him on to the show.
All right, listen, I'll send him a
PJ.
DM and be like, my pastor thinks you're nuts. Prove
Do
him
it.
wrong.
Do it. So
All
he
right.
thinks you're nuts. He wants you to come on the
I'm
show
gonna look
and
him
share
up.
your
Probably blow our
craziness.
minds.
Probably
looking him
would.
up.
We just need to
Probably
hear
would.
from him, not Becca. I think,
I don't think I'm doing him justice by trying to.
No, I get it. Trust
Let's
me.
end this show with one topic.
All right.
Okay.
Have you picked it?
Oh man, I don't know when we're gonna post this show.
Whenever you tell us, really.
Yeah, we can whenever.
Man.
Whenever you want.
Oh. Is it about something you don't want to share yet?
No, it's
Oh.
about something I want to talk about, but I don't know if we'd have to post the show like this week.
Oh.
We can make that happen.
I mean, I think it's gonna be ready to go.
If
Okay.
if you tell
So
us.
let's talk about the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Okay. Eric, you and you want to head
I
out?
know that Eric and Austin could care less. But in this room, you have a diehard 49er fan, which is me. And then you have a loser fan of the Chiefs, which is Becca.
Wrong. First of all,
You mean
not a loser. Look at the record.
Her leader sounds like Kermit the Frog.
He can't help but his vocal cords sound like God created him that way. He's
I
created
know.
perfect.
I shouldn't make fun of him. I'm not making fun of him. He is a great quarterback.
Can we talk about the betting that has gone on?
Yeah,
The
let's
behind the
make
scenes?
it
It's like
podcast official.
$310 billion
Yeah, that's crazy.
will be betted on this
That-
on this game.
Talk about.
But none of that's coming from us. Because
Nope.
our bets are not monetary. They are lifestyle.
I can tell you right now, I'm not betting on them unless I have a $10 bet with a friend.
Right.
Whoa. We got to revisit
Betting's
the bet.
okay if you tithe
Oh,
on
we
it, right?
do. Well, no, wait. We do have a bet.
We do have
This
a
is
bet.
double or nothing for you and I. We need
Yeah.
to figure this out
Which
Okay,
right
so
now
what's-
on the show.
So what's at stake here?
So here's what it was originally. I don't remember which game, so it won't really matter. But
It was 2 weeks ago.
It was the division championship.
oh, I know what it was. So it was the Baltimore.
It was Ravens versus the Chiefs.
Yep, and whoever, like, if the Ravens won, Becca would have. I forgot what you had to do. Oh, you couldn't wear Crocs for like a month.
Yeah.
And then I would have to bring my podium out on a Sunday.
Ew,
But
put that
then
back on.
on the 49ers, if they won, Becca would have to provide me lunch at my desk, or if the Packers, or who was it? Not Packers.
The Chiefs and
No,
No, it was the Lions. If the Lions
Oh.
won, then I would have to take Becca lunch. So she won one, I won one, and right now I'm trying to do a double or nothing type thing.
So technically, right now, I'm supposed to bring Pastor lunch from Roots Cafe, and he is supposed to be carrying his own podium for the
Which is-
weekend experience.
So a double or nothing would be this. If I win, that means you can't wear your Crocs for a month, and you have to bring me
Yeah.
lunch. If you win, I would have to bring my
we're adding
podium.
'em. Okay.
Yeah, it's double or nothing.
Yeah.
Double or nothing.
Well, what's the second thing for you? You have
He
to
has
Bring
to
her
bring me
lunch
lunch.
or carry my
okay.
podium out. Or we could just come up with a whole new bet.
I really want to see
$5
you carry
bucks.
your podium.
$5. Somebody else is going to carry the podium, and you get Roots Cafe for lunch.
What?
If he loses, $5 you're getting Roots Cafe.
I think you should make him.
I actually think you're going to try one of the new featured items that we
Yeah.
test on that day.
I
a
think you
tester.
should make him carry the podium out in swim trunks.
Oh
I
my!
don't want to scar the church. I just want him to carry the most
Oh,
He
awkward
could wear
this
a
is done
podium.
gone
shirt.
off the rails.
He could wear a shirt. I'm just
No,
saying,
I
swim
just want
trunks.
him to have to carry the most awkward podium of all
That
time.
is an awkward podium.
Especially with the further thing on the front. It's so hard to carry it.
I'll
those of
carry
you
it
that-
out
for those of
during
you
the
that-
transition of somebody praying or a video.
For those of you that
That's
don't
fine.
know what the carrying the
As long
podium
as I
out
got to
is,
carry it out there while
It's
everybody's
the bane
watching
of
me.
my existence as
the
a stagehand.
It's essentially making the quarterback blow up his own football right before the game in front of the
the same
stadium.
That is-
Oh my
I
god!
don't. Not wearing Crocs for a month seems so extreme. Why does mine have to be
Why
so
did did you
extreme?
agree
You
to
don't have
it?
to
I
agree.
didn't for a month. I said like a week.
Okay, well. 2
First
weeks.
of all, let's get this on the air right now.
Yeah,
right
you gotta
now.
get it on the record.
I am going to say that the 49ers are going to win
Okay.
by 7.
What's the okay?
Whoa.
By 7.
Do the
By
numbers
7.
matter? We have to do numbers.
Numbers matter
just
because
put it out
people
there.
count.
Okay.
What do you think?
efficiency.
What do you
Well,
think?
I obviously think the Chiefs are going to win because they are. And I would give it. You want me to do a points?
Yeah.
By points. Okay.
By how
let me
much?
think.
1.
No dog. Pastor dog.
Pastor dog.
Okay, I'm gonna say the Chiefs will
Still
win
respect there.
by 10.
Whoa.
Touchdown and a field goal.
That's very specific.